Chimkus, who's Joanna Poitier. And in fact, when I'm in LA, every morning I go get my iced tea. I don't drink coffee. I get my iced tea and I drive over to her house in Beverly Hills, and she gets up at 6 and we turn on the TV and we chat for about an hour, and then I see her every morning. Like pictures of myself with his Oscar and like holding it up. But one day when I did my short film here in Utica, this is how this all ties in. We were going to film festivals, and one of the film festivals wanted you to submit a minute trailer of the movie. I thought, oh gosh, that's going to be hard. So I thought, well, you know what? I'll just have a voiceover, like talking about the story in the minute and 10 seconds. So I thought, and Sidney had retired long before this, and one of his daughters was an actress and one wanted to be a director, and he would never do anything for them. So I hesitated to ask him, but I thought, I'm going to ask him anyway. Maybe he'll do it for me. Because my mom would bake him pies. So when we went out there, she'd make a cherry pie, an apple pie, whatever. So he's telling me, how's it going? I'm like, well, I'm doing this film and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and I said, I'm editing and I need to do a trailer for a film festival. He's like, oh man, you know how to cut the film? He was thinking it was still film. I said, Sidney, there's no film. It's digital. This is all digital. He's like, what? I said, you have to come over. So I had his assistant bring him over to the house. We might have back in the back of the house, I have an office, which is an editing bay. And so he sat there with me for like 2 hours as I'm putting the film together and I'm putting the trailer together. And I said, would you do something for me? And he said, what? I said, could you, if I write you a couple of lines for this, do the voiceover for this trailer? Absolutely. I said, great. So he's like, well, where do we record it? He thought we'd go to a recording studio. I said, here, I have my recorder right here. So he recorded the 2 lines. I put them in the trailer. And then when we finished, the afternoon, I walked him back up to the front with his assistant. His assistant's getting in the car. And now Sidney was 6'4". He was really tall. And so this was my real Hollywood moment. So I'm standing in the street. He's up on the curb and he's 6'4". So I'm looking up at him like this, and I said, well, I hope you enjoyed that. He said, he put his hands on my shoulder, and I looked up and I went, uh-oh, what's he gonna say? He didn't have a good time. I'm thinking, He's like, don't let anyone ever tell you you're not talented, because you are. That was wonderful. I'm like, I was like, I had my Hollywood moment. So, yeah, I felt very close to Sidney, and he was always very supportive and helpful. In fact, he wrote me a recommendation letter. Sony was doing some internship thing, and he wrote this wonderful letter. I have it framed, suggesting that I, be included. So, but yeah, LA's something. But a lot of crazy people out there too. So,
well, one question then before.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned Big Smokey fan, Hal Needham and Burt. I mean, is there any story with that?
Well, so Hal Needham, he was a stuntman, and he wanted to direct this movie because he thought it was fun. They rewrote it like in a night, I think. His business manager, her name was Laura Lizer. She had Dean Martin. Was one of her clients. Morgan Fairchild, Melissa Gilbert and her husband. She had some big clients. Well, Hal was one of her clients. So she was a member. A lot of these people, like behind the scenes people, agents or managers or business managers or whatever, they're in a lot of organizations, or they do like Big Brothers Big Sisters or charities. So you go to these events, and one of the events she was at, Burt Reynolds was there, and had a couple of 2 sentences with him, and it was before he died. I mean, this was a long time ago, because this was way past smoking Bandit, because I was 10 and smoking the Bandit. But she's in Smoking the Bandit when they have the little montage and all the truckers are saying, and she's Little Beaver. So if you watch it and you see this is Little Beaver, she's blonde, short hair. That's her. That's that connection. But you'll go to these things like Sydney was honored by UCLA. So there's Denzel, Halle Berry, Wolfgang Puck, the chef. He'll send food over to the house. Sydney would go there a lot for lunch.